You are now listening to the Q&E Podcast.
Is this what you want? Huh? Is this what you want? Well, come and get it, goddammit!
Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Q&E Podcast. You here with your boy Q Hicks right now. I got Eggert right beside me. Eggert, tell the people what's good.
Welcome to a nostalgic episode of the Q&E Podcast. We're going to take a trip down memory lane to see if y'all sports fans really keep in touch with y'all true sports movies.
Yes, sir. So if this is your first time listening to the Q&E Podcast, we talk about primarily sports, but we also talk about entertainment like we do in these pods. We have already done the Last Dance reviews, so definitely go check those out. And we also talk about current events, so definitely rock with us. So like Eggert said, this is another sports. We talking about sports documentaries. We talking about our favorite sports movies. So we just go dive right into it. Eggert, I'm going to let you go first. We're doing top fives for 30 for 30s and for our favorite movies.
All right, so we're going to start off with the 30 for 30s. My top five ESPN 30 for 30s are the Allen Iverson story. I don't remember the exact titles of
it was crossover.
Of some crossover. So forgive me if I just don't remember the name of it. But crossover, the Allen Iverson documentary. I just love. It's my number one because Allen Iverson was just such a prolific and iconic basketball player. He set the trend and he changed the culture of basketball and really brought that hip hop element to the game that hadn't really been seen before. The braids, the tattoos, the wristbands on the elbows and everything, you know what I'm saying? So he really made that as popular as it could have been. But not only was it about that, it told you his backstory, where he started in Virginia and the upbringing that he had, how he almost didn't even get a chance to play college ball at Georgetown and then get to the NBA. It tells you about his quote-unquote criminal history, even though it wasn't really his fault, in my opinion.
Bowling alley incident.
Yeah, a whole incident that he was just a part of that he got the bitter end of, you know what I'm saying? But if you haven't seen that crossover documentary on 30 for 30, you should definitely check that out. So that's my number one. My number two is the Steve Bartman incident with the Chicago Cubs. That's my number two. And Randy Moss, Rand University. That's my number three. My number four is the U, part one and part two. The U, the University of Miami. I'm a Florida. Hey, y'all see me. I'm a Florida Gator. I go to school at UF. Yeah. I'm a diehard Gator. But those Miami Heat teams, them 80s and them early 2000 teams, them Hurricane teams, the Miami teams was something serious. Just to see how going to the hood can get you the best players 9 times out of 10. It was just great to see something like that. And then rounding out my top five for 30 for 30s is the Fab Five. Everybody know Michigan, the baggy shorts era. Everybody know Jalen Rose came up with them boys, you know what I'm saying? Just the whole star-studded Fab Five and the culture that they set with basketball, from the way that the players dressed to the way they carried themselves and tried to really show everybody, hey, we deserve to get money. If we looking at people wearing all our stuff, you know what I'm saying? So they really put an emphasis on the players. And you talking about
players that changed the culture, bro. They was the first people to do this. You know what I'm saying? Young people, they playing. A lot of people in that time was not freshmen playing real minutes. Starting for Final Four caliber teams. They changed the culture, man. And they really implemented something. They implemented the baggy jeans. Not baggy jeans, but the baggy shorts. You know what I'm saying? They had black socks. So, and like Eggert said, with the wanting to get paid, they looking in their store and they see everybody buying their shirts because they changing the culture and they ain't getting damn penny. You know what I'm saying? So Fab Five was definitely one of them.
That's my top five. The crossover, the Chicago Cubs, Steve Bartman documentary, Rand University, the U, and Fab Five. That's my top five 30 for 30s.
That shit solid, bro. That shit solid. So my number one is the Unguarded documentary. So if a lot of people don't know about this one, this is one that came out when 30 for 30 just started, man. It came out in 2011, I want to say. And it was about this man named Chris Herron. He was from, I want to say it was Fall River, Massachusetts. He was a hooper. He ended up going to Boston College. He was a real hooper in the Big East. He was getting off. He was a freshman sensation, but he got caught up in the drugs and stuff like that, the painkillers, the opioids, the things like that. And his career really started to go downhill. He got kicked out of Boston College for the painkillers and everything. He ended up transferring to Fresno State. After Fresno State, I think he played his senior year. He was hooping, but once again, he got caught up in the drugs before. He even went to rehab while he was at Fresno State. He still couldn't get over the painkillers. He ended up going to the NBA. He was still like everywhere he went after high school, he was getting caught up in the same thing, the painkillers. Like I say, he was from Massachusetts. He ended up getting drafted by the Denver Nuggets, but traded to the Boston Celtics. So obviously he's back home in his hometown lifestyle. You already know how that be. Once you caught up around the same home, you see the people you see on the streets. Everything is attainable because you grew up around his lifestyle. And once he came back home, bro.
Product of your environment.
Exactly. Once he came back home, everything was there and accessible. So he fell back into the painkiller lifestyle, man. And it was just really about him overcoming the drugs and becoming like a motivational speaker after all of his downfalls. Because like I said, he'll reach a peak when he was in college, and then he'll, get caught up in the drugs. He'll reach a peak once again in college. He's going to be something in the NBA, and then he gets caught up in the drugs once again. And it just tells you his journey, you know what I'm saying, of how he got to where he is today. And it's a part 1 and a part 2 for that documentary. It just came out last year, the part 2 for it. He was talking to like a bunch of kids about his story and things like that. That's my favorite one, man. It's just like an emotional connection about that story. It's probably not the best 30 for 30, but it's one that really hit home when you watch it, man, because it's like, especially the product of the environment type of thing, especially when you come back home. It's like, man, you come back home, you think that's a good thing at the same time because you're around fam. Yeah. But it's like, man, it really ain't that good because you around the people that really ain't no good for you.
You around where it all started.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, when you making money, what people around you want. You know what I'm saying? The people that you grew up with.
People that you grew up around, they looking at you like, oh, you back. You can help out. You know
exactly. So they was feeding for money. And all of that led to a depression where he wanted to fall back into it, man. So definitely check out that Unguarded documentary. Like I said, that was my favorite one. Like Edgar said, the U part 1 and part 2. Those Hurricane teams, like Edgar said, bro, top tier. And that time, that was probably, like I said, that was my first one because Unguarded was, but the U was probably the best one cinematically. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know a lot about the U. I'm somebody who was born in 98, and I didn't know a lot about the early 90 teams and things like that. But once I've seen those documentaries, I'm just learning for myself, and I'm seeing it for myself. I'm like, damn, that's some of the best shit I've seen, bro. So that's definitely number 2. Benji, the Benji documentary, man. That was about, he was basically D-Rose before D-Rose. So he was somebody who was like the number 1 player in the country in the 80s, and he was in Chicago, ended up getting killed, unfortunately, before he was going to go off to college. I want to say it was his senior year. Yeah. Got killed in his senior year before he even got off to college, but he was the number 1 player. You know what I'm saying? It was just like a career cut short, man, because you don't know what he could have been.
He was literally like on the path to being D-Rose before D-Rose.
That's what I'm saying. And it kind of reminded you, not on the same extent, but of a Len Bias, because you just didn't know his potential. You feel what I'm saying? Like, Len Bias, like, everybody says it now, like, man, he could have been better than MJ. We don't know what Len Bias could have been because his potential was crazy. And he was going to a Celtics team that we don't know what he would have been. But obviously, we know what happened with the cocaine and his unfortunate passing. Same thing here. We don't know what he would have been, but he had the jumper. He had the all-around game. So
the athleticism.
You feel what I'm saying? So you don't know where he could have went from there. So, man, Benji was another one, emotional connection. That's another one. Fab Five, like Egg said. I feel like that's everybody got to be. That has to be everybody. That has to be everybody. That's Fab Five. Yeah.
I feel like the U and Fab Five got to be in everybody's top 5.
For sure. Fab Five was one of the best ones as well. And the Trojan War is in my top 5 as well. That's the USC story. Yep. And they tell you the USC, like when they was really popping with the Reggie Bush and with the Pete Carrolls, with the Lindell Whites line and all that. Like they give you that story, how that all came together. And they also tell you about the downfall as well when everybody tried to get out of there. They tell you about Pete Carroll leaving before the violation. Yep. They tell you about Reggie Bush and his violations and stuff like that. And that's what really opened my eyes to how they treated Reggie Bush and how they treated Pete Carroll, and like the dichotomy between the two is like, damn, the Pete Carroll was a big part of the violations as well. Like it wasn't just,
it was like he got out of that just in time.
He got out of that just
to where he slid under the radar with a lot of that stuff. So.
Exactly, and Reggie Bush caught a lot of the brunt of it when really he was just playing. He was just doing his thing. He took money. Obviously, that's not what you're supposed to do. He took money, but it's like, man, he gave that university so much, man, and they still took
it was a sad.
Yeah,
bro. Took that man Heisman away.
Yeah, man.
But the reason why Unguarded like hits that emotional spot for you, I feel like the Chicago Cubs Steve Bartman story, I feel like that hits an emotional spot for me because it's like, first off, I feel like a lot of MLB stuff don't get that much love when we talk about 30 for 30. So at least from what I see and from the people I talk to, I don't really hear too many people give MLB documentaries that much love. So seeing that 30 for 30 and how Bartman was literally like outcasted from the city of Chicago, like that was crazy, bro. I get it. What he did was stupid, but the death threats he was getting, the emails and the phone calls, the fact that he literally had to have witness protection and police custody of himself, like for years and years and years, like all the way into the mid 2000s, damn near. Yeah. Like, and that happened. I'm saying it happened in the early 2000s, but 2010s, like into the mid 2010s, like that happened 2003 all the way to the mid 2010s to the 2016 season when the Chicago Cubs won after 108 years of no championships. Like, they gave him a ring, and the organization formally apologized to him for everything that happened.
Yeah.
So it was just good to, like, see something like that. You know what I'm saying?
And you got to put yourself in that position as well, because it's like when you're that close to a foul ball, wasn't it a playoff game? It was a playoff game.
It was a playoff game.
It's a playoff game.
The Cubs it was a game 6. The Cubs were, I forgot who the Cubs were playing, but it was game 6 of the National League Conference Championships. And I forgot what outfielder was running to the stands for the ball, but the ball was still in play. It was still in play to be caught. Bartman leaned down. It was a bunch of other fans doing the same thing. It was just he happened to be the one fan to touch the ball and mess up the entire outfield play to where the Cubs could have won, because the Cubs would have had 2 outs at that point. And all they would have needed was, I think, they would have just needed one more inning.
Yeah.
Not just one more out, but they would have just needed one more inning to end the game, and that would have been it. But that kept the who were they playing? I gotta look up who they were playing. But it kept the opposite team in the game for the rest of that inning, and they ended up getting the runs that they needed to force a game 7, and then ultimately end up winning that series. So it was crazy. Y'all should really watch that.
Yeah, bro. And there was some other ones. I just watched the Bruce Lee and the one that came out last Sunday, which was the Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire.
Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, and Bruce Lee.
Yeah, exactly. So the Bruce Lee one, I did not know Bruce Lee died at 32, bro. For some reason, I thought he died in his late 30s or his early 40s, but the fact he died when he was 32, it really takes you on the path of his journey of coming from Hong Kong and coming over to the U.S. when he was 18. He came over to the U.S. at 18 years old with $100, man. Like, and he basically had to make it. His pop sent him over here because he was having trouble in Hong Kong. And he really made it do, you know what I'm saying? He took that Kung Fu thing to the next level, man. And that is called Be Water. So if you want to check that out, it's on Hulu right now. It's available on Hulu.
It was the Florida Marlins. That's who the Cubs were playing.
And the Marlins ended up winning the championship.
Right.
Yeah. So check out the Be Water and the Sammy Sosa. I forgot what that one was called. Long Gone Summer. That was called Long Gone Summer. I thought they were going to dive more into the steroid type of thing because that's what they're really known for.
Yeah.
If you don't know Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, they hit like the most home runs before Barry Bonds. They hit the most home runs ever. I want to say Mark McGwire hit 70 and Sammy Sosa hit 66 in the 98 season. Obviously, everybody back then was taking steroids, and it wasn't even an illegal drug back then to everybody's knowledge, but it's obviously a banned substance now, and they really just take you through that season. I thought they were going to dive more into the drugs, but they really didn't. They put that to a side and just showed you the greatness of that season. Because in 1994, the MLB was really at a downfall. Like, it was like the sport really wasn't as popular as it used to be. They was coming off
and basketball was just such an incline at that point to where it was like basketball became the number one sport in the country at that moment. Especially with MJ doing everything he was doing. Like, I think that was around the time he was retiring. Exactly. But, it was even with him leaving the game, basketball was up here and baseball was just all the way still at a low.
Yeah. So. It was still one of the biggest pastimes, but it was losing its momentum. Like I said, like the basketball was really picking up the momentum and baseball was starting to go downhill. But that season picked it up because it was so exciting seeing Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa hit all these home runs. And it was like a competition all the way to the end of the season to see who would hit the most. You feel what I'm saying? So that was definitely a good one as well. And I just watched the Lance Armstrong documentary. Hey, that was another good one. So they really dove in. I don't want to spoil it, but they really dove. Y'all know what happened last time. They really dove into like the allegations of Lance Armstrong, you know what I'm saying, and everything he did involving the doping and things like that when it comes to his bicycling. And I like how they did that. I thought that's how it was going to be when it was Mark McGuire. Yeah. But that's how it was when it was Lance. They really dove deep into that, man. So shout out to them. One more. I got to put an honorable mention now for the 30 for 30s. The Marinovich Project. You seen that? Mm-hmm. It's about Todd Marinovich. He was a left-handed quarterback. He was like a robo. They was calling him like a robo QB coming out of high school. He was being trained by his dad to be like the prototypical quarterback. He was 6'4". He was like out of California. He ended up going to USC. He was supposed to be the next big thing, and he really fell downhill. And he was built up to be this prototypical quarterback. He was built up to be like this Greek god in a way, but so much pressure was put on him at a early age that he really faltered. He ended up getting drafted by the Raiders in the first round. He was like a big-time quarterback for a long time. He wasn't a big-time quarterback, but he was a big-time name in California for a long time. But the pressure ended up faltering on him. But that's another good one I would recommend.
What's another one? Bo Knows.
Bo Knows.
About Bo Jackson, yeah.
Bo Knows is another one, bro. So it's a lot of. I was just about to say, bro. I was scrolling down all the 30 for 30s today.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of good ones. Like, you really can't go wrong with any of these 30 for 30s, bro. All of them are good. Yeah, bro. Shout out to everybody who makes it, bro. Let's move on to the favorite sports movies.
All right. Now we're talking about sports movies.
Yeah.
My top 5 sports movies of all time. Remember the Titans at number 1. Remember the Titans are number 1 for me because I just feel like, first off, you got Denzel just being Denzel. You know, you got the number 1 actor at that time in the world just giving you the performance of a lifetime, and the racial message in that movie about how a team, 2 different schools integrating and bringing black and white students together. And in that coach's first season there, basically where you have to either get championship or bust, like, they did the impossible. They went undefeated and won the championship. Like, it was crazy. Like, and throughout all of that, battling racial inequality, battling fights on the team, like, you know, like, you got teammates not agreeing with each other just off the premise of we don't have the same skin color, but coming together by the end of the movie, actually forming a brotherhood like you're supposed to do with a sports team. You know, so that was just really why that's my number 1 movie of all time. The acting was great. The message was great. And the fact that they really stuck true to the story. Like, you know how sometimes some stories that are based on true stories, they fabricate way too much. Yeah. There was little fabrication with that movie. Like, everything stuck true for the most part. Number 2 for me, Coach Carter. Another great, it was a lot of great actors in that movie, actually. Yeah. But Samuel L. Jackson doing his thing. Coach Carter with that team from Richmond, California, just going all the way to the championship. They lost, but just showing the journey of that team, how he turned that complete culture of that team around, being from trash to one of the top teams in the state at that point.
I want to say this, though.
Yeah.
I watched the Way Back movie that came out with Ben Affleck this past year, bro. Mm-hmm. That movie was literally a white Coach Carter, bro. Really? To the detail, to the T. It was a white Coach Carter, bro. I'm not lying to you, bro.
Well, it couldn't have been. Because, unless, like, in Coach Carter, they didn't explain, like, the coach's troubles that he went through. That was the only difference. But I'm talking about in terms of the team. Oh, in terms
of the team. Was bad. When he got there, they went up. But they really dove more into the coach's trials. And Coach Carter, they dove more into the schoolwork and, like, the students. It was more of the, you know what I'm saying, the main thing. But then Way Back, it was more of the coach's journey and things like that. But it was the same premise at the same time.
I had a feeling it was kind of going to be like that.
Yeah.
Number 3 for me, Space Jam. Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny. Like, I don't know how you can get better than that. The Monstars. Seeing all the classic Jordans throughout the movie and all the highlights. Like, it was just, it don't need no explanation.
What about Mr. Swackhammer as well?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Swackhammer.
Freddie Krause. Jerry Krause. My fault, Jerry Krause.
Number 4, Pride. A lot of people, I don't think, have seen Pride. Terrence Howard and Bernie Mac, R.I.P. Bernie Mac. You know what I'm saying? Who else is in that movie? Evan Ross. It's a lot of actors that names I just don't remember. But it was a very good movie. If you have not seen that movie, it's about a black swim team from Philadelphia during the 70s, I believe. And they really turned their rec center into one of the most profound swimming areas in Philly. And they're still going to this day. So that's a really good movie to watch. And number 5 for me, Glory, Road, the story about Western Texas College in the 1996 championship season that they won against Kentucky. That is one of the best sports movies I have ever seen. Yeah. Bobby Joe Hill and the rest of them boys, like it was crazy to see what they could do for real.
Hey, Derek Luke did his thing in that movie, dog.
He did.
Derek Luke did his thing, bro. So shout out to Luke. Let me get my list up. I know number one was definitely Coach Carter for all the reasons Eggert said, bro. It's real simple for me. I feel like if we get as the black community, or the movie that gets shown the most is the Love and Basketballs, but that's not really what we like the most.
They're showing Coach Carter a lot now. They're showing.
They're showing Coach.
They're showing it more than what they used to.
Okay, I was about to say because that's really our best one. What I consider the best black sports movie of all time. Coach Carter definitely has to be up there. Glory Road is number 2 for me, bro. Just basically what Eggert said, man. The journey they took, the racial component that was inside, because like this was the 60s, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was even more racial than Remember the Titans.
Exactly, bro. Yeah. This was like right after civil rights time. You feel what I'm saying? And
actually, it was during it. It was during the 60s. Yep. So it was during it.
Hey, so you already know the racial component. You know what I'm saying? Getting bullied and things like that. You already know how it was. Different bathrooms.
Literally blood splattered in their hotel room.
Fighting in the bathrooms.
Yep.
Yeah, it was wild. It was a wild time. Like Mike number 3, bro. We almost
put it in the 5.
Yes, bro. Like Mike number 3, bro.
I was gonna give it the honorable mention.
Yeah, bro. I put like Mike in there, bro, because come on, bro.
It's like Mike.
Bro, Little Bow Wow did his thing, and that we don't give Sean Moss the respect
I'm never calling him Sean Moss. I'm just calling him Bow
Wow. Whatever.
Nah.
I call them both. We don't give Sean Moss the respect he deserves just for being a child actor. It don't matter what he's done since then, bro. What he's done as a child rapper, child actor, and everything he did as a jit. Come on, bro. Like Mike, legendary.
I ain't gonna lie, Bow Wow real corny now, but he was that dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Even as a rapper, when Bow Wow was
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he was that, bro. He was that dude in that movie.
I say after 25, I was like, yeah, I ain't trying to listen to Bow Wow no more. I ain't gonna lie. But everything before 25, oh yeah, everybody listen to Bow Wow. If you sit here and say you ain't like Bow Wow before he turned 25, you just lying.
Bow Wow was that nigga. Let me hold you down like a river supposed to. Come on, no. Like Mike, Morris Chestnut did his thing in that movie as well, bro. And there was so many stars in that movie. You had Vince Carter. Who else you had in there?
Allen Iverson, Jason Kidd, Gary the Glove Payton, Dirk Nowitzki,
showing out Calvin Cambridge. But there was dunking on niggas' head. Oh my! I
think Doris Burke was in there too.
She probably was.
Yeah, Doris Burke.
There's a lot of good, bro. It was so relatable because we wanted to be in that position.
Yes.
And that's why we started really kissing our shoes too, because we seen it in the movie.
Make me be like Mike.
Yeah, bro.
Literally.
We seen it like movie.
I had a Calvin Cambridge jersey.
I know it was hot. It was fire.
I had a Calvin Cambridge jersey. I was so mad when I got too big.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, like Mike 2 was trash, but
yeah, I don't know why they tried to do that. Yeah, like that was a terrible thing to do.
I hated it.
It was so low budget. Yeah. It was street ball. I was like, this some Harlem Globetrotters.
It was. Like, I didn't like Mike 2.
They allowed traveling. I was like, he just took like 8 steps with the ball, but he made this dude fall. So I guess it's okay.
Like Mike 2. A real struggle. Above the Rim is number 4 for me, man. If y'all don't know Above the Rim, that's one of the most slept-on sports movies ever, bro.
R.I.P. Tupac.
R.I.P. Tupac. Dwayne Brown did his thing. He was the star of the movie. What's the
Marlon Williams was not Williams. Marlon Wayans was in the
Marlon Wayans. Bro, what's his name from The Wire, bro? Avon Barksdale.
Oh yeah.
Ace from damn.
I know you're talking about.
I forgot his name. I want to say
because he played in Remember the Titans.
He played in Remember the Titans.
He played Julius.
Yeah. So I forgot who he was in this movie, but he was basically like the sidekick to Tupac in this movie. But just the movie is so fire because it shows you like, I guess he had a lot of problems. I guess going before Georgetown, he had a hot head and he had to get mentored by the big. What was his name?
I don't know.
The mama was dating him.
I gotta remember the cast.
Damn, I forgot what his name was. Mama was dating him, and he was basically getting mentored. Dwayne Brown was getting mentored by the dude. I forgot his name.
What was his name? Hold on.
That's him. Shut.
Shut. I ain't know his real name. I thought he was trying to find out his real name.
Leon. So Leon Robinson, man, he was basically being mentored by Leon Robinson. Dwayne Brown was, and he was basically a hothead. He had to calm down. He ended up going to Georgetown doing big things, but it basically told you the journey of the street ball lifestyle. And the street ball lifestyle ain't like that.
Pop character Bernie.
Yeah.
OG.
Yeah.
Oh, he was an OG the whole.
Oh, because Bernie was the homeless man.
Who, Birdie?
Bernie Mac was the homeless man.
Oh, I thought you said Birdie. I was like, no, Birdie, what? Oh, you talking
about
Bernie
Mac.
Mac.
Bernie Mac.
I thought you said Birdie. I was like, Birdie had a whole team. What you talking about?
No, Bernie. I'm talking about Bernie Mac was the homeless man.
Yeah.
Yes, they had stomped him out of that. They had stomped my man Bernie out of that movie.
Crazy.
Yeah, but a Butter Rim top tier movie. It basically shows you, but like the school hooping and the street hooping is a totally different game. You can get your head knocked off in this street hooping, dog, for real, because it's not a game, especially when that money on the line, dog. It's a whole different game than that in-school lifestyle, bro, for real. And that's basically what it tell you. And like Edgar said, hey, Pac was a real character in that one, boy. Somebody who would cut through.
I ain't like how he was doing Boogaloo. I ain't like that, though.
That was Marlon Wayans, wasn't it?
Yeah, Boogaloo was just trying to be part of the team. He was just trying to help out, man. They was clowning.
But what happened at the end?
Oh, we know what happened.
What happened at the end? Yeah.
I'm just saying, the disrespect had to stop. Like, it had to stop. I was so upset.
Yeah, bro. Legendary movie, bro. We got to give more respect to a Butter Rim. And my fifth one is Karate Kid. I'm talking about the original Karate Kid with the Hispanic dude. I don't forget what his real name was.
I never knew the cast of that movie. I just
don't know the cast. What's the Mr. Miyagi? I don't forget his real name too, but Mr. Miyagi was doing his thing. That's my favorite one. That's a movie I watch a lot. Repeat value.
Pat Morita was Mr. Miyagi, but Daniel LaRusso.
That was
Ralph.
Daniel LaRusso. So I watched all three Karate Kids, the original. You only need to watch the first one. The second and the third, you don't need to watch. But the first one is legendary.
Yeah, bro. Ralph Macchio was Daniel LaRusso, and Pat Morita was Mr. Miyagi.
Definitely watch that.
I never knew the cast of that movie.
Yeah, wax on. Sweep the leg. Yeah, man. Daniel Simon. All that, man. That's all that good stuff in Karate Kid. And my honorable mention is Space Jam, bro. Gotta leave that out. But
my honorable mention was like,
come on, bro. It's a good jump, bro. It was a lot of good movies. We was going through.
Oh, we not gonna just skip past this. Air Bud, the original Air Bud. We is not gonna go past this. He is being so disrespectful right now. Everybody knows the original Air Bud was a sports classic. I don't want to hear anything else. We never saw an animal in a sports movie like this. The Mighty Ducks, another classic that is slept on. The Mighty Ducks, Air Bud, what was that Disney movie? Double Team.
Double Team was fire.
It was
Double Team was fire, bro. What was that one we was talking about earlier? With
Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
That movie was fire with Eddie Brown.
Yeah. Orlando Brown.
Yeah, that movie was fire. It was fire. It was a lot of fire. It was a lot of
honorable mentions.
A lot of Disney movies that was fire.
A lot of honorable mentions.
Yeah, it was a lot of Invincible.
Invincible is a good one. I'm mad at Mark Wahlberg, but Invincible will always be one of my favorite movies.
We all know why.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, we all know why. Yeah, it's a lot of good ones. Got Cars in there.
You gotta throw the Sandlot in there. You have to.
Sandlot. Bad News Bears.
Definitely.
Was another one. What's that one movie? Hardball with G Baby. Got killed.
Hardball. Yeah.
Come on, bro. That movie slept on, bro. For real. Jump in.
We're not. No.
If you gonna say Air Bud,
what is a classic? What are you talking about?
If you gonna say Air Bud,
I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody who jump ropes, but I don't consider jump roping a sport. It is a competition that is different. Like, jump roping is not a sport. I don't know how that counts as a sports movie.
But it does.
Oh, my God.
Jump in. Ooh, jump out. Come on, man. That movie
the fact that you know the lyrics.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers. Wasn't Kiki Palmer in this movie?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. We can't respect. We gotta respect.
No, it was an okay movie, but we're not going to throw it in sports movies. We can't throw it in sports movies.
Kiki Palmer. But that's all the ones. These are the Disney ones. Yeah, bro.
It was some good movies.
It was some good ones, bro.
Definitely some classics. You gotta respect Air Bud. Not a football one and the baseball and the volleyball. I ain't talking about it. I'm talking about the original Air Bud when he played basketball. That one, the 1997. That is the OG classic Air Bud.
And then you say Ali.
Oh yeah, Ali with Will Smith. It was another one. There's one more we said. Ali is one of the greatest movies Will Smith ever did. 42. Another classic sports movie that y'all need to see, Chadwick Boseman. I'm pretty sure everybody has seen it, but if you haven't, make sure you do.
Never seen Creed.
He's never seen either of the Creeds. Creed is going down as one of the best boxing movies of all time. Not even gonna lie to you. It's not even that many fighting movies in general. But Creed,
bro, it was exactly like Rocky,
no,
bro.
It wasn't. It was similar, but it was not exactly right. He didn't even see it yet. He already judged it.
Similar, because I already knew. They already told you the storyline. It's Apollo Creed's son. He gonna be fighting. He gonna be trained by Rocky. We knew what the deal was.
Okay, but you gotta see the acting. The acting makes it so much better.
We didn't even say Longest Yard, Gridiron Game.
Oh yeah, Longest Yard, Gridiron Game.
The Water Boy. That's what.
The Water Boy.
That was gonna be my honorable mention before I put Space Man. Water Boy is one of the funniest.
Damn near everything we saying right now are honorable mentions.
Yeah. Yeah. Rebound.
No, we're not counting that. We're not counting that movie. We're not.
Mr. Woodcock for real though. Mr. Woodcock.
Mr. Woodcock was a good one.
Woodcock.
We're not counting Rebound. I like Martin Lawrence, but we are not counting Rebound. We're not.
No,
that movie was so low budget. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was. That movie.
I can't count that. I really can't. Cool Runnings. That's a very good movie. A lot of young people I don't think have seen that movie. That's a good one.
But yeah, that's it.
Hello everybody, this is Quincy Hicks here to just give you an update that this next part that you will be listening to is from June 18th. This is our current events topic from that podcast. We had split it in half. This is when we talked about J. Cole, the PS5, Noname, and a couple of more topics. And we just wanted to put it out for you guys. Enjoy.
Let's move on to current events, man. So one of the biggest current events that come out is the PS5.
The PS5. Ladies, I don't know who's gonna buy me this PS5, but I need somebody to buy me this PS5.
You gotta come out of your pockets, big dog.
I don't want to buy it myself. I need
what they running it? What they said the price was?
They probably not gonna drop the price for those.
$760.
They is not. The PS4 wasn't even $600.
Whoa, they dropped the price.
No, they didn't.
PS5 price?
Everybody else but PlayStation dropped the price for the PlayStation 5.
So people was, they said $499.
Yeah. Hell no, that thing ain't gonna be no $499.
$499 is the usual price. When they first come out, it's $499.
You dead ass?
Yes. When the PS4 came out, when it first came out, it was like $400.
I thought it was $6.
What the Xbox was about $5. I know the Xbox was about $5 when it came out.
Anybody saying $700 or higher for a damn game system, they're lying to you. I'm telling y'all.
Let me read it out.
Everybody but PlayStation is giving the price of the PlayStation 5. Until I see PlayStation give a price, I'm not gonna say what the price is.
Hold on, bro. So I'm seeing a lot of. So they saying it might be $450.
I'm not believing nobody until PlayStation say it.
Because the Xbox is usually always higher than the PS4 or the PS5.
Ladies, I just need y'all to know it ain't gonna be $700 something. I don't want you thinking you spending almost $1,000 on me. Half $1,000, yeah, but third of $1,000, no.
Said $750?
I'm not paying over $700 for a game.
Nah, it's gonna be like $500.
I'm not paying anything over $600 for a game system.
But we seen the trailers that came out with Spider-Man, bro. We seen what came out with the PS5.
That Miles Morales Spider-Man.
That's what I'm saying.
That.
The 2K looked the same, more sweatier.
Let me
dive into it.
Let me say this.
Dive into it.
2K. We don't give a shit.
I didn't even get the game this year.
We don't give a shit about the graphics. We know what y'all can do with the graphics. We've been seeing it for years now. We know the graphics can be raw. It feels like I can rub Zion's sweat off his face. I get it.
Too much.
The gameplay, that's what we need fixing. If all y'all finna do is update the graphics and keep the trash gameplay that's been had for the past 2 seasons on 2K, we don't want it at all. Now, that was my address to 2K. Let me say this. Grand Theft Auto, if y'all don't drop 6, I know something.
They gonna drop 6.
Nobody wants Grand Theft Auto 5 renewed and remastered.
Oh, they think about doing that?
They gonna do it. They already said it. They're milking Grand Theft Auto 5.
That movie came out in 2013.
Like, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in 2013, and now, 7 years later, renewed and remastered. After all this online play that y'all had, what else are y'all finna do? Just don't do anything else with 5 until you drop 6. Like, that's all I'm finna say. Like, I really get pissed off seeing people still play Grand Theft Auto. Like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, bro, it's getting out of control. Like, 7 years go by. Why has the new game not been made?
But here's my take on it. I'm not mad that they're taking so long making it, because the way they're making it sound or how Grand Theft Auto 6 gonna be, it's gonna take them a long time to do it. Because you gotta think, 7 years, that's a long time to update graphics. Like the graphics on Grand Theft Auto 5, the way they're talking about how 6 gonna be, you know the graphics gonna be something serious.
Yeah.
So you gotta get the graphics. you got to get the map on how big and detailed the map finna be, like how detailed the missions finna be, how many missions is finna be on this thing.
New characters.
Like
new characters be great.
Me and Titan, like we used to stay up nights playing games. We beat Grand Theft Auto in like 3 or 4 days. Like it took us a couple days to beat Grand Theft Auto. Like anybody that tell you they beat their game in one night, they're lying to you. Like their game took at least 48 to 72 hours to beat. I promise you. And that's playing nonstop. So 6 is gonna damn near take a week probably to beat that game. And that's nonstop play. I'm not even joking.
I'm not even into those type of games, to be honest.
You gotta.
I sold my game system, bro. I don't even got an Xbox One no more, bro.
First off,
I'm tired of it all.
Xbox is terrible. Let's just get.
That's not cap like niggas wasn't having a 360, bro. Everybody left the Xbox community when they went up to a 1. Everybody got a PS4. I don't know why everybody left.
Because everyone knows PlayStation. What's the best-selling game console of all time?
PS2.
Of course. PlayStation runs this shit.
Niggas know. The Elite, the Elite float was on the
PlayStation.
Elite float was on the 360.
PlayStation runs this shit. That's all I'm telling you.
Y'all got it for the PlayStation 4. But for the Xbox One, y'all got it over the Xbox One. But y'all ain't gonna act like Xbox 360 wasn't lit now.
It was straight. It was okay.
It was straight.
It was a good secondary.
Bro, when the PS2 came out, we were still on the Xbox, the original Xbox. When y'all had upgraded the PS3, and Xbox 360 was beating out PS3.
It was.
That's what I'm saying.
But the PS2 was still beating out the 360, and that's a whole generation.
Ooh, no, because look, it came out like the Xbox and the PS2. PS1 came out around the same time. Then the PS2 came out before the Xbox 360.
A lot of niggas still on PS2 before they decided to go to 360. They were still on that.
That's
PS2.
what I'm saying, because you gave them something new before Xbox did. You feel what I'm saying? It was Xbox and PS1. Then you gave them a PlayStation 2. It's like, damn, I guess I get the PlayStation. Xbox just costs too much, honestly, bro. I don't know why they're like $100 more every time. It don't make sense.
Xbox sucks.
Xbox,
first off, y'all got that little dumb behind ring of death. Like,
I had that one time.
Yep, see? You don't get that.
Yeah.
You don't get that with PlayStation.
I had that one 360.
Y'all servers go down more. Don't think we repeat that. We keep track.
I don't know. Like I said, I play 2 games. I play Madden, I play 2K.
Yeah,
I don't play none of them other
games.
games.
I look into the logistics.
I don't play none of them other games, bro. I don't play Grand Theft. Halo was never my game.
How are you an Xbox fan that don't play Halo?
I don't play, bro. I've played Xbox my whole life, and I played 2K, NBA Live, the college NBA games, 2K version.
That's really like being a PlayStation person and not playing Grand Theft Auto or Spider-Man. Like,
I played none of that. And when I was kids, bro, I played Yu-Gi-Oh on the Xbox, Yu-Gi-Oh Pokemon. When I got up to Xbox 360, it was NBA Street Home Court. Oh, when I was playing the street football games.
Oh, yeah.
I was playing the street football games.
If you had a PlayStation 2, you had Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Like, you had it. Like, it was mandatory.
I ain't never played none of them games.
You had to have San Andreas. Like, I didn't trust you as a PlayStation owner if you didn't have San Andreas. Like,
yeah, bro, I ain't had none of them damn games, bro. Always been just sports and then stuck to it. But let's move on to B. Simone, bro. She was in the headlines a lot this past week. She said a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week, how she didn't want a 9-to-5 nigga. Now it come out that her book ain't real and it's plagiarized. It's like B. Simone really getting hit with a lot of facts this week.
It's crazy. I'm not mad at her. Everybody else mad at her for having a type. What she said was stupid. I don't like the fact that she didn't word herself correctly the very first time she said what she said. Mm-hmm. She came out and said there's nothing wrong with a 9-to-5 dude. I just personally don't want a 9-to-5 dude. I don't want a 9-to-5 dude. I've reached the point of where I'm at a high level of entrepreneurship and I don't want to date anybody outside of that. I want to date somebody who is an entrepreneur, who has the same mindset as me, who got the same goals as me. That's all she said. Like, y'all took it as, so a 9-to-5 dude can't have that type of mindset that you got, blah, blah, blah. To her,
that's how she said it.
That's how she said it. That's why it sounded wrong because she didn't word herself correctly. But when she made videos afterwards to restate herself, people was like, "Nah, you said this, blah blah." I'm like, y'all just do cancel culture on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, it's out of control, bro. It's out of control.
You can apologize and they won't accept it because they think you faking, and then you cannot apologize and people just think you're an asshole. So it's a lose-lose situation.
Really, bro. Like
it don't matter what you say. It really don't.
The cancel culture is out of control.
Once you put yourself in the grave, they're not letting you get out.
Bro, we in a time where we need to be uplifting each other. That's why it don't make sense. We're supposed to be uplifting each other, and we divided in the community.
One thing I came back up on is her book. It is proven that she got a lot of plagiarism from other people for that book, and you can't do that, especially for your first book,
bro.
Come on.
She said she made a book about manifestation of people's dreams, a manifestation for her dreams, and she plagiarized that. Like, why wouldn't you write your own book and write about your own story?
Because
why would you outsource your first book?
I seen a lot of pages in that book, and a lot of pages wasn't even like legit.
It was scrapbook type.
Like, it was scrapbook type.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, dang, first off, how many pages is this?
Yeah, like,
and then second off, like, there's not that much content. Like,
it's not. It was a lot of pictures. It was a lot of pictures.
It wasn't that much content.
It was a lot of pictures in there, bro. So I was like,
how am I supposed to manifest anything off of this? Like,
I didn't even know she had a book. That's why I was like, wow, she got a book.
I knew she had a book. Like, it's just a bump in the road for her that she got to learn from.
We gotta do better, black folk, man. We gotta uplift each other.
We can criticize each other, but the way we just completely tear each other down.
Exactly, bro. That shit is ridiculous,
I don't like
bro.
that. Nah,
come on, dog. Especially in these times, the white man ain't even gotta do nothing. We splitting each other up. They killing us out here, and we still going against each other, bro. What the hell is going on out here, man? Uplift each other and support black business, dog. For real. Let's move on to J. Cole, somebody who another victim of the cancel culture for I don't know what reason.
Y'all should be ashamed.
A damn shame. Ashamed of yourself.
Let me go ahead.
Let me get
no,
people.
I'm gonna let you go first.
I'm gonna just set the scene. So J. Cole this week dropped this song called "Snow on the Block," and a couple of verses in a couple of lines in the song was that he wanted. So the song it was about Noname, basically, the rapper, singer Noname.
It wasn't even about that artist in general.
He didn't say her name. He didn't say her name, but a lot of people were assuming it was Noname.
The whole song was not about her.
Oh no, the whole song was.
Everybody trying to make it sound like he made a song strictly about no. He addressed her like one time.
Exactly. He addressed her one time. He said a couple of lines about her, and it wasn't even no disrespectful lines. It wasn't. I forgot what he
called her a queen.
Called her a queen, but he said what you were saying. The tone is bothering me. He's basically saying that you're condescending, basically, in the points that you make. Everything that you're saying is real condescending.
And he checked himself. He checked himself in the song. He was like, I ain't been speaking up that much. Like, I'm not using my platform the way I should right now, blah, blah, blah. Like, J. Cole literally was criticizing himself in the song.
Yeah.
You know, so I just want people to know, people like J. Cole, not even just music artists, I'm just talking about celebrities in general. People like J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Dave Chappelle, like people like that, they've been giving these messages.
Joey Badass, like, a lot of people sleep on him.
Joey Badass, hops in to a degree.
Yeah.
I don't always like his rap style, but anybody who like really like rap, you've been listening to Hopsin since like his YouTube days. Like he's been like giving subliminal messages about stuff like this too. And these artists and entertainers have been saying stuff for a long time. So when they don't speak right now, I don't say nothing because it's like remember how we were saying Kendrick ain't saying that yet? Kendrick been saying something for years.
Exactly.
So if it's one person that I don't mind not speaking right now, it's Kendrick.
That's what I was saying.
Talking. Same thing with J. Cole right now. Like the main people who've been saying stuff, y'all ain't been paying attention, but now y'all want them to talk, and they're like, "No, we've been saying something."
That's what I'm saying. That's what
just go back and listen to the songs I made. Like I'm not gonna make a new song. You know?
Bro. That's what I was saying on the podcast where it was "There's no justice, no peace." Everybody was coming at him, but he been making this pro-black music for years since 2010. Bro. He been coming out with his pro-black music.
Butterfly is literally one of the best albums to listen to right now.
Come on.
If you want to get that black pride, to Pimple Butterfly is like what you need.
One of the best albums ever made, dog. And y'all criticize him for what? He's already gave you his words on this piece.
Because now y'all as the masses are finally fed up, and now you want to hear something like that. So let's transition into this. Lil Baby made a song, The Bigger Picture. Loved it. I'm glad that he used his platform as a young artist, not just an artist, a young artist who got the young demographic by the neck right now. He chose to use his platform to make an inspirational song in light of what's going on. The lyrics were great, the message was great, everything. All of these young people are calling Lil Baby the GOAT right now. Lil Baby is like the hottest rapper in the game right now, but they're really calling him that because of the song he just made. And I feel like it's because sometimes it's not always the message. It has to be the messenger. J. Cole and Kendrick in their 30s, and they were in their late 20s. So anybody younger than us right now, they're not gonna vibe with their music, and they don't make the music to be hits. Like Lil Baby song is on the radio. Like it's out. It's a mainstream song. It's on a trap beat. It's on a beat that you want to listen to. A lot of young people want to listen to. So when J. Cole and Kendrick make songs that are inspirational for Black causes, it's on mellow beats. It's on harmonic beats. It's on beats to where all you really need to do is listen to the words. With Lil Baby song, The Bigger Picture, it's like you got the bass in the background, you got the beat that's flowing, so it makes you want to listen to the words that he's saying. And it's the fact that he's an artist that's popular with the young crowd, so they're automatically going to want to listen to him. Exactly. So I feel like that's why they're holding Lil Baby up here and then criticizing J. Cole and Kendrick right now.
Bro, and let's not act like these killings just started this summer, bro, or this year. Like these things have been happening. That's why these Kendrick and the Cole's been making this type of music. Let's not forget about Mike Brown and the Trayvon Martin. This didn't just happen this year, bro. These boys been making this music since the early 2010s, late 2000s. And let's not forget that, bro.
It's other artists out there.
It's other artists, yeah.
Who don't really speak as much as I would want them to, and some of them my favorite artists, and stuff like that. I was listening to Drake today. I was criticizing Drake a couple weeks ago on the No Justice, No Peace thing that we did, and I was saying he needed to speak up. But I remember back on the song that he did. I can't remember the song, but he was like, "If I hold my tongue on it, I get crucified." You know what I'm saying? So it's like I had to have a moment of like realization. It's like, damn, like we do really live in that society right now. If you don't say nothing, you get crucified.
We seen it with Cole.
Yeah. And if we have to force you to say something, when you finally do, we don't accept it because it's like we feel like we had to make you say something.
Exactly, bro.
So,
and that's why I had texted to one of my boys. I say niggas don't really listen to the song. He was getting a lot of female hate because I guess he was going at a female artist. There was a lot of Black women hate. I felt it was more at him.
I was like, what? I was like, he called her a queen and said he just don't respect your tone. Not respect. He just don't accept your tone.
Because he was saying don't come at him condescending. Come at him with a friendly tone. You got to speak to him like children.
Like he came at her as polite as possible, and it was a lot of Black women on Twitter like, no, you're disrespectful. I was like, he came at you the nicest way possible. Like, I don't know what you want to do.
But a lot of people had a problem with it because in these times, why are you making a song about her? Why are you not making a song about what's actually going on? Yeah. But he did say he felt like he wasn't doing enough, and he felt like Noname is out here giving people the words and the power, but the way she was saying it just isn't the way he would do it. Or she should change her approach. But a lot of people
I like the fact that he did not apologize. J. Cole did not apologize, and y'all know I'm big on that. Anybody that knows me know I'm big on that. Shout out my friend Desire. She made a tweet that said she does not like when celebrities like make these fake apologies or whatever. No, stand on what you say. You said what you said and you meant what you meant.
Yeah.
Like, and don't apologize. Unless it's something you truly do feel sorry for, don't apologize just to apologize. Like,
I'm mad he even came out with the tweets afterward. Even though he didn't apologize, I was like, I'm mad he even explaining himself to all these people that don't agree with him. Like, Cole, bro, we hear you, dog. We heard exactly. We heard exactly
the real fans.
Literally, bro. They want to dissect. They want to dissect your words, take it how they take it. Cole, we heard you. Exactly. We heard that you ain't as smart as maybe the next person, but we know you trying. But and we know that you not feel like you're not doing enough. But still, you out there in the field.
You've been at these protests. You've been showing your face. Like even before all of this, like years ago with Mike Brown and all the Eric Garner, all the type of. You've been at protests. You've been showing face. You've been giving black fists up in the air. You've been making the music, like you've been using your platform to the fullest, bro. So the people now who finally decide to get in their feelings, like, no, don't worry about that stuff, bro.
Come on, that's all I was like. When he came out with the tweets afterwards, I was like, man, he really ain't have to do that, bro.
I was like, Quincy, I was like, ooh, J. Cole trending. Let me see what's being said.
That's what I said too, bro.
I see the slander. I was like, no.
Bro, that shook the hell out of me, bro.
I was like, what?
And first of all, Cole, I feel like is the only, him and Kendrick, like the only niggas that could drop on a random Tuesday, bro. I feel like they're the only people to do some random shit like that.
And it's crazy. I went back and listened to the song. I was like, maybe I missed a verse or something. Let me see if he actually said something disrespectful. I listened to it at the same time. I was like, he said nothing.
He said nothing disrespectful.
Nothing disrespectful.
I kept listening to the song when it first came out. I'm like, okay. Like Edgar just said, I'm checking. I'm seeing him trending. I'm like, let me see the compliments he getting. See, he getting slandered for what he said. And Noname just came out with a song today I'm guessing she was going at J. Cole or whatever. I really didn't listen to the song. They said it wasn't on Apple Music yet when I tried to click on it. But I'm guessing she was going at him, talking to him or whatever. And I see it's a lot of people on her side like, yeah, get on him, Noname. Get on him, Noname. Noname, dog. I'm one of your fans, bro. I've been listening to you since Telephone. I rock with you heavy. But, man, that man wasn't talking down to you, and you know that. But I understand why people are saying, okay, why are you making a song about her? You could be making a song about what's going on. I understand that point. But still, he said nothing.
Exactly.
He said nothing.
I ain't tripping on it.
Yeah, bro. Shout out to J. Cole. Keep the fist up, bro, and keep learning. We all need to learn just like Cole, because we all out here. We probably don't got average IQs or whatever, but we all people just trying to learn, and we trying to, you know what I'm saying, be better black folks in this community, man. That's all we trying to do. If y'all don't understand,
you basically saying, like, teach me, help me.
That's
whatever you know that I don't know, tell me. Like,
tell me, but just not in a condescending way where I feel away.
Don't do it the way you trying to outvote me.
Exactly, and that's what happens on the social media. Like when somebody don't know nothing, it's like, oh, you don't know this, or you don't know that. Like, damn, nigga, teach me something instead of coming at my neck for not knowing it.
I'm sorry, I don't know everything.
Exactly, teach me some shit, nigga.
I'm sorry, I don't know everything.
Exactly, bro. We gotta come out of there different. Anyway, that's all he was saying, bro. All right with you, cuz. We still love you, bro. And they was talking about canceling Cole and Kendrick. Are you serious?
I don't even try to acknowledge cancel culture anymore.
They said we gonna cancel him?
Because the people that really should be canceled are not getting canceled.
Exactly.
So I'm like, okay, I don't care.
Exactly. Y'all still listening to Tekashi like he just the best nigga out there. I don't want to hear none of that.
I don't get it. There's a lot of people that should have been canceled that are not yet canceled. So. Or y'all cancel it for 2 weeks and then that's it. We should be canceling Chick-fil-A because we should be canceling Chick-fil-A.
I was thinking about that shit the other day.
We should cancel Chick-fil-A because not only did we find out that they support Trump, the CEO of Chick-fil-A said slavery was a blessing. He put the icing on the cake.
Speak to him.
They put the icing on the cake for y'all to be like, y'all don't need to eat him no more. Y'all said like, we're still gonna get the sandwich.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Edgar, speak to these niggas, dog.
Like, come on,
bro, I'm glad you brought that up, bro. I was thinking about that the other day. Y'all really coons for that because y'all cancel everybody else, or y'all try to quote unquote cancel everybody else, but y'all don't cancel Chick-fil-A, bro. It's all these other places, bro. It's all these other food places out there.
We've been sharing all these threads of black restaurants and whatnot. Y'all get over.
And
y'all don't want to get overpriced by black restaurants, but y'all will take racial discrimination from Chick-fil-A.
And they overpriced? Come on, dog. Y'all think Chick-fil-A healthy, man? They're killing us slowly, just like the rest of this fast food.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna say that.
No, Chick-fil-A is killing us.
They're fast food at the end of the day, but they're pretty good.
They killing us slowly, just like the rest of these fast food, dog. Don't get fooled by it, bro. That's what I'm saying. Everybody stand up for Chick-fil-A. Why?
I'm trying not to eat Chick-fil-A like that no more. I'm really not.
I'm cutting on Chick-fil-A, period, bro.
Starbucks, y'all done had strike 2.
I didn't never go to Starbucks.
No, I'm a big Starbucks fan. Y'all done had strike 2 with me when y'all told that worker recently that she couldn't. It was like a year or two ago when y'all made a worker take his Black Lives Matter shirt off or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then recently, y'all made a black female employee take a Black Lives Matter mask off, but encouraged her to wear Pride Month stuff. No offense to the gay community or whatever, but why are we allowed to express interest in sexualities that aren't ours, but we can't represent our own culture? Like, you know what I'm saying? So y'all apologized real quick and y'all made it okay, but y'all definitely had strike 2 in me just then with that. So Chick-fil-A strike 2, Starbucks strike 2, but I don't even want to make room for strike 3. I'm at the point where I'm trying to move on to other brands.
Chick-fil-A, fuck Starbucks. Period. I ain't eating at Chick-fil-A no more. I ain't eating that. I never ate at Starbucks. I ain't never drunk no coffee from that at all.
I ain't finna sit and say I'm just finna cold turkey right now because I know it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. But I'm slowly going to progress away from going there.
Hey, McDonald's, we here for you, dog. We see you, dog. No slander.
I don't even eat McDonald's right now.
I still eat McDonald's. McDonald's, Wendy's.
Bro, McDonald's went downhill once they started looking
you
real.
You think McDonald's downhill, bro? They always gonna be in stock, bro, because the young people,
the brand,
and the young people.
Nah, they don't really got young people like
that. They do, bro.
Not like how they used to.
Bro, all the parents, I was just talking to my mom about that, bro. The young people are always going to go to McDonald's because it's the cheapest food option, bro.
Not because, no, I'm talking about from the standpoint of McDonald's really used to be the fun place to go, not just because of the cheap. McDonald's really used to be real good, used to have a real kid environment, a real youthful environment, and the food was cheap. Now, they only go because the food cheap. Like that's it. That's a terrible.
And Happy Meals ain't as cheap as they used to be. Happy Meals like $4.99.
And Happy Meals don't even like
they don't
give
hit
you the same feeling.
Exactly.
No more, like or none of that. Like
I still got my
the essence of McDonald's is nothing what it used to be. So
I still bang with
brand. It's just the brand of McDonald's will never go away.
I still bang with you as long as you don't come out with nothing crazy. Now McDonald's could be some hard shit. That would be hard for me, honestly. I wouldn't lie to you. McDonald's would be a hard.
I really gotta be in the mood to eat McDonald's. I have to.
I'm going to McDonald's after this podcast. For real, bro.
To be in the mood,
no, bro. But let's move on, bro. We stuck on that cover. That topic. We're moving on to Russell Westbrook is producing a Black Wall Street documentary. Let's give it a clap up. Because I don't think a lot of people know about the Black Wall Street period and how that was running for a long time, bro. And shout out to the Watchmen, because in the beginning of the Watchmen series, they did a lot of flashbacks to what happened during that time, how the white people really ran over the whole Black Wall Street and what everything we were doing and flourishing in that community, bro. So shout out to Watchmen for throwing that flashback in there, bro. But how excited are you for this documentary?
I'm excited because this is proving the point of what we said earlier, how Russell Westbrook will be Mr. OKC as opposed to KD. He always going to be the backbone of that Oklahoma City Thunder franchise because Tulsa, Oklahoma, a real what's the word I'm looking for?
Landmark?
A real landmark in the state of Oklahoma, the city of Tulsa. Mm-hmm. Not just for the Black Wall Street that was there, but just in general, that city being one of the biggest cities to go to, the greatest cities.
Attractions, I guess.
Yeah, attractions. You know, so I just love the fact that he's using his platform to really shine a light on that, to show a lot of the youth that this is what we used to do. This is the greatness that we used to exemplify. Like, we didn't used to have to worry about the common Wall Street. We had our own Wall Street. Like, that's why a lot of people are trying to really get black banks back on the market. Like, because if we get to where we in charge of our own currency on how we handle it, and we get to handle, like, giving each other our own loans and stuff like that, man,
these niggas, dog.
They're not ready for it, bro. The world ain't ready. The world ain't ready, but we gonna make them ready, though.
Hey, bro, I've been doing a lot of stocks recently, bro, and this one stock that be doing, that's a bank. It's a black bank. Let me look it up for you right now, bro. BYFC is Broadway Financial, and that's a black bank, and that's getting a lot of stockage right now, bro. Especially with Juneteenth coming around, everything going on in the world, they starting to get back into the black supporting theme.
And with Trump having, I think Trump's still gonna have his rally or whatever in Tulsa tomorrow on Juneteenth.
The disrespect.
Friday is Juneteenth,
yeah.
So he's gonna have his rally or whatever he's doing in Tulsa. Like that's a real slap in the face as far as I'm concerned. So it's good news hearing what Russell is doing in regards to Tulsa in the Black Wall Street. So.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Russ, man. Like I said, we all try to get educated at the end of the day, and I think that's gonna show a lot of education and give people information that they didn't have before. A lot of people get told stories about Black Wall Street, but it feel like something that was so far off when it really wasn't.
To where, and it's also like most of the people who tell us about it, they can't really go in depth like how they want. They just make sure they tell us that there was a Black Wall Street. Like, because I know with my dad and my mom kind of too, they could speak on it a little bit more because my dad was like alive during the 60s and all that stuff. So he has a better memory on the stories he was told about it and stuff like that. So, but not everybody's parents my age are the same as mine. So,
yeah, bro. So shout out to Russell Westbrook, bro. We are looking forward to that documentary, and that is it for this podcast.
This is a lengthy pod.
We
might have to slice this in half.
Yeah, this was real lengthy.
First off, we did a lot of rambling, but we covered a lot of topics that I know y'all wanted to hear.
Yeah, man. So
we tried to keep this strictly sports, but it was real hard. It was real hard. With everything going on in the world, nothing is really staying on regimen right now. But we hope y'all staying safe during this coronavirus time. Make sure everybody stays safe. Make sure y'all continue to sanitize, wear masks when you are out in public. Just stay prayed up, do what you got to do. Those of you who working, be thankful you got a job. Those of you not working, hope y'all get employed again soon. And hopefully we get somewhat back to normal.
I heard the second wave coming soon. Honestly, I heard the second wave coming.
Everybody just they're saying that to try to scare everybody. Everybody just stay doing what you're doing. If you feel like you've been doing right, being sanitary, just keep doing what you're doing. The wave ain't gonna hit you if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So
And that really don't make sense to me, bro, because they tell you to stay out of certain stores or to wear your mask, stay 6 feet apart. But we always walking in grocery stores and we're never 6 feet apart in the grocery store.
because
We're always right next to each other.
I think it's because they're trying to not make it so strict to where we just like are paranoid all the time. I think they're trying to give us leeway and just manage ourselves and make sure we maintain 6 feet. Because if they have to instruct you stay 6 feet, it's gonna feel like we're in a like dictatorship. Like almost like they're giving us the chance to, as citizens amongst ourselves, to stay 6 feet apart from each other.
Okay. But yeah, man, we appreciate y'all for listening. Edgar, with the social media.
You can follow us on Twitter at QE Podcast 1. You can follow us on Instagram at Q_and_E_podcast. You can follow and like our Facebook page, Q&E Podcast, our YouTube channel, Q&E Podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscription button and make sure you hit the notification bell and hit the word all. Yeah.
And we're also posting clips now. Other podcasts, we're posting clips now. I just posted a couple of clips last week. Dalvin Cook clip and a Cade Cunningham clip. I feel like it's going to get more viewers that way. So, yeah.
Yeah, posting promo clips and whatnot. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Our email, QANDEpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you hit us up on there for any questions, concerns, fan mail, business inquiries, anything like that. Just want to say hi, tell us you're a fan or whatever. That's great. Blue Collar Media Group. We are a part of their and MTMV Sports. We're a part of those two platforms. Make sure you check those out. Check out their websites and their Twitters. Check out all the talent that both of those companies have. There are plenty of people out there like us spreading news and entertainment.
They ain't like us, but they do the same.
Shout out to Steve.
Yeah, shout out to Steve.
But who else? I think that's it.
That's it. Oh, follow me on Twitter, Q_Hicks3 on Twitter. Follow Edgar at EdgarMartin97 on Twitter. And his IG is Edgar Martin Official. Also, subscribe to my YouTube, man. I make YouTube videos separately from the podcast. I just came out with a Most Underrated Tim Brown. Came out with a How Good Was Jerry Stackhouse, Overshadowed Legends videos. So I'm going to start pushing those out at least once a week, bro. So definitely start checking those out, bro. And, yeah, I think that is it. Subscribe to all our podcast platforms.
Apple Podcasts,
Google Podcasts,
Spotify,
iHeartRadio. We everywhere. Wherever you listen to podcasts, we there, bro. We appreciate y'all for listening. And we out. Peace.